Hey, it's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And we're back with another segment of the M Squared TechCast, MITechNews.TV, with a longtime friend and associate, Gary Erickson. Gary, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing, Matt? How you doing,
Good,
Mike?
thanks.
So is it nice and cool down in Clearwater today? Probably only 95 or so, right?
Well, I live in Sarasota, so I don't know about
Sarasota.
Clearwater.
Okay,
It's like 91 or 92 on the water, so it's a little warm and a little humid.
Yeah, it's almost.
We got the same thing going on here. I think it's just about the same.
We have your Florida weather in Michigan today. It was really nice for about a week there, and now the high 80s and low 90s have come back.
So we see 90 to 91 almost every day down here. It's sort of boring, and then we get a thunderstorm about 3 or 4 every afternoon.
Yep, yeah. I remember that.
Good old Florida. So anyway, what we wanted to have Gary talk about, or at least update, is he's the managing partner for Executive Search Partners, and this is where you can do a shameless plug, Gary. So tell the audience exactly what you do, and then we'll continue on. Oh, we lost Gary there. Oh, he's going to put on his hat or something.
I'm sorry. I just I noticed my background sucked, so I had to do something about that. So, on live TV at the best. Sorry, shameless plug. Executive Search Partners is a IT-focused search company. We do nationwide searches in information technology, senior level positions, and we've been recognized by Forbes as one of the best in the U.S.
Okay.
Great.
And so I think we had you on a couple of months ago. We were talking, and one of the things you do, of course, is C-level folks, technology C-level folks. And so when I posed the question to you a week or so ago, what has changed? You said not a heck of a lot, other than the competition for jobs is even more fierce than it was before, right?
Yeah. Well, you've seen a lot of layoffs in the Southeast Michigan area, but I was looking at statistics today. Down in April, the total jobs were down like 24%, and they've come back to about 15%. IT is down about 9%. But the reality is that there are a lot of people who are looking for jobs, and then the other side of the equation is how many jobs are becoming available. There's always jobs out there. It's hard to get a handle on what the percentage is, but my estimate is there's about half the jobs available now that there used to be, and most of those jobs are not in the automotive arena.
Okay, so what arenas are they in then?
Yeah, I was going to say, which begs the question: where are the jobs? You know. So.
Well, there's a whole sort of we've all been hearing about which segments are up and which segments are down, and if you focus on Michigan only, what I've been seeing by looking at Indeed and the job statistics is finance, banking, insurance, including healthcare, media. There's some automotive jobs out there. The ones that are most interesting are the ones in the electric car arena.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, certainly. How about autonomy? Is there still a push toward that?
Now, to me, electric car includes autonomous driving.
Right. So that's the self-driving part too.
Yeah, they're actually different, but I mean, it's just one's the powertrain and one's the connected vehicles is the one that's going to be a whole lot even more complicated than electric vehicles. I mean, it's really the battery technology that's holding back electric vehicle acceptance, but that'll change over time. The connected vehicle, that's a whole nother breed of cat. That's where you got to have all these devices in the vehicles and the roads everywhere else, and I don't know whether Matt and I or you are going to see that in our lifetime, but who knows? It might happen. So
no, I agree, they're different. I just happen to think of electric cars and autonomous driving simultaneously because I've got a Tesla and I've got pretty good autonomous driving capabilities.
Okay, gotcha.
So you guys recruit all over the country. Is there, probably Michigan may not be a hot one because the automotive industry is down, but are there states that are particularly hot hiring, that sort of thing right now, or not?
Yeah, I don't know all of them, but I know that the New York City area, because of the banking and insurance and some of the consulting industries headquartered there, is pretty good. I think New England's doing okay. We've seen the San Francisco area, especially with the technology companies, seeing tremendous amount of growth. It's still tough to get people out there. You know, if you looked at the, you know, we all know which ones are down. You know, you don't want to be in the cruise industry or the airline industry, or you don't want to be running hotels, right? Those are really down. But if you look at the ones that are going up, online retail, I don't know how much of that we've got in Michigan. You've got telemedicine, maybe a little bit of that because people can do that kind of thing, but the people providing the technology are in California probably. Life science and pharma. We used to have Pfizer in Ann Arbor. I don't think we've got much and we used to have a lot up in Grand Rapids. I don't know how much of that we have left in the state.
Well, they're more healthcare centers now rather than biotech centers, although there's still a lot of biotech in the state. If you look at the reports on what investors are investing in, typically more than half of it is biotech or biopharma or whatever you want to call it related. So,
and those are in what parts of the state?
Well, that'd be Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, Detroit, a little bit in Lansing. Kalamazoo still has ex-Pfizer presence over there. I'm trying to remember who bought. Pfizer might even still be in Kalamazoo.
Oh, well, Pfizer is still manufacturing in Kalamazoo. In fact, that is Pfizer's largest single manufacturing plant in the world, is the one in Portage there, just south of Kalamazoo. Okay. But they're not doing the kind of R&D there that they used to do. That's what's changed.
Yeah, I think that all got moved to Jersey or something, didn't it?
Yeah, the only kind of Pfizer R&D I'm aware of in Kalamazoo is in their veterinary side. They've got like an experimental farm outside of town, so they're growing super cows or something. I don't know, but
all right, so
not really Pfizer.
Let me interrupt one other thing, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike and Matt. One other thing. There's also IT trends overall where their people are continuing to move a lot to the cloud, which reduces the demand for infrastructure and operations people in non-cloud companies, but some people can move over to those, like Secure 24 has got a pretty good presence in Michigan. And then you've got a lot of people doing outsourcing to sort of if you're a steady state industry and steady state system. So you got these trends that are moving IT in one direction, and then you got trends like digitization, car electrification, and connected vehicle and online delivery and intelligence in products like Whirlpool is doing over in Kalamazoo and other places that are driving in the other direction. So it's a pretty complicated mosaic of where the jobs are.
So since this is an IT-centric listenership, viewership, if someone's looking for a new IT position now, what are the steps that you think they could or should be taking?
Well, thanks. The number one thing is you've got increased competition, so you got to stand out from the competition. And the first thing, there's 3 ways to get a job. You can do it by networking with friends and asking for help, and then ask them for other people you can talk to. You can talk to recruiters, all right, or you can apply online. One of the things we've been recommending to people when they apply to any job is that their resume needs, no matter how you do it, whether it's through a friend that you're talking to, or whether it's through recruiters, or whether it's to online positions, your resume's got to look a lot like you're an exact fit to the job. So if you're in automotive and somebody's looking for a director of application development in a healthcare or an insurance industry, you're probably not going to be able to create a resume that makes you look like a fit, but you can try. People in the online world and other worlds will get so many different resumes from so many different people, and there's so many people looking for new jobs that companies don't need really to look outside their industry.
So what other advice would you give? I mean, considering that jobs are way down, a lot more people are looking for jobs. You were just saying to tailor your resume specifically for that job. Anything else?
Well, the first thing we recommend, if you go to our website, there is a document called 12 Steps for a Highly Successful Job Search that I've mentioned in other of these meetings. We keep it up to date. The last one was done in February of this year. It talks about what you need to do a job search. And the number one thing, if you do get the interview, all right, so first off, you got to network your way into a job. You got to be a fit to the job. Your resume's got to look like it. But if you get there, if you get a chance to interview, how do you stand out from other people? And what we're suggesting is that you spend some time before you go anywhere and create a series of success stories for yourself about things you've done. For example, somebody will say to you in an interview, have you ever done anything like this? And your answer should be, yes, I have, and then launch into a very short, very focused success story. The format we recommend is PAR. What was the problem you were working on? What actions did you take? And what measurable results did you achieve? Now, other people call that a STAR. It's also called a CAR. It's also called a SAR. It's all the same kind of thing. Create these success stories, maybe 5 to 10 a year for the last 5 to 10 years. So you're well armed. So when you walk into an interview, you can give people a good, concise, focused answer.
So be like the old Boy Scout motto, be prepared, right?
That's right. Yeah, you gotta know the industry. You gotta know the people you're talking to. You gotta know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you're going to stumble in an interview and walk out of there later saying, "Gee, I wish I'd answered this question differently." So be prepared.
Well, just getting to the interview is challenging enough, right? How many of all? I mean, you were telling us last time you get 1,000 applications for every job. So, if you're culling those down, is there something you pointed out a few things, but I mean, I suppose it varies by the company. But is there something else that folks can do to just get to the interview?
Well, you got to. So most people select people based on the resume. People send in cover letters and a generic resume that typically doesn't work as well because the resume, people don't read the cover letter, they read the resume. Even if they read the cover letter, when they send the resume onward, they don't send the cover letter. The other thing we're recommending is that right at the very top, right, there's a professional summary at the top of the resume, and then right after that, on the top half of the page, put down I can't even pronounce it, qualifications for the position of whatever it is you're applying for, and put 4 or 5 dot points down that speak specifically to the requirements that probably they have posted on their website. And that's a way, that resume then tells people you thought about the position, and you can point out why you are a good fit for that position.
How many of those, let's say, 1,000 resumes actually get to the interview stage? Are we talking 5 or 10, maybe?
If you're going, I don't know how many. I know we're working with a couple of companies who also post online, and they say they get 300 to 500. And they're gonna look at maybe 20 or 30 resumes and pass them by the hiring manager, and they'll probably pick out 10 people or so. That's just rough averages. And we do the same thing. We'll call down we had one search where we actually got 1,500 resumes for a chief information security officer position. And we culled that down and eventually presented, I think, 15 people for that position. The requirements changed a little bit along the way too.
Sure. All right, we got about a minute left, so now it's shameless plug time, Gary. So, folks, you got them all excited. They want to get to your website. Tell them how to do that.
Well, it's searchpartners.com, and there's a section called resources. If you go there, you're going to see a sample resume, which includes the in-resume cover letter that I just mentioned, and our document called 12 Steps for a Highly Successful Job Search. Both of those are, if I don't say so myself, really, really good documents.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life. But LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.